this is Carla. Welcome back to the studio and Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I would say thank you for joining me today, but I'm actually pre recording this at an earlier date. Let me go and fix this so we're straight. And just give me a little bit here because I'm looking at my laptop and there is a bit of a delay. I want to make this straight, as straight as I possibly can get it. So I hope everyone is having a really wonderful day. And let's see, we're gonna bring it over just a teeny tiny bit and hopefully we got it all set up. So, I probably just made it worse. I am so sorry. I don't know about you, but I just like things to be straight. So, and of course, looking at my laptop, there is that bit of a delay. Okay, so that looks good. We're not going to touch it anymore. So I'm going to bring this down just a teeny tiny bit, and hopefully we don't have a lot of blurriness happening as I'm working. So again, welcome. Merry Christmas, everyone. So we are coming close to the end of 2024. And here on my channel, I kind of have a goal that I want to have a nice even number of video content on my channel. And so after let's see, this particular video and then my Friday night live that I'll be having in 2 more nights, um, I would have reached, I will have reached 189 videos, but I'm going to find something. It may be like a quick little live, won't be creating any projects or anything, just so I can add that one little extra video onto this channel by end 2024 with 190 videos. So it's been very busy. I've been very busy getting a lot of my pre-recorded stuff done in advance. So my Throwback Thursdays, this video here, and then I added a bonus holiday video. So I did one for yesterday, Christmas Eve. So getting a lot of stuff done ahead of time, and then just really have to worry about those 2 Friday night. Well, at the time you're watching this, just one more Friday Night Live. There's another one that I had done for last Friday. So I'm also looking that I have items from this current at the moment holiday mini catalog that is soon going to retire on January 6th. And I do have, product that I have used a good amount of what came out of that catalog, and I have a few more items left as well. So when I did my Christmas Eve video, I had used two different, no, or did I use three? I apologize in advance because I've been doing a lot of content and just remembering uh I did I did three cards, but I used two stamp sets. So for this video, I am using two additional stamp sets from that catalog, and then I'm also going to use a die and DSP bundle. So so what I'm going to be using, there's the standalone stamp set that's Dear Santa. I think this set is not just cute, but I think it's hilarious. Like this little girl here, I mean, she is just hardcore focused on making out her list to Santa. And then you got this cute little girl here eating her cookies. And then you got the boy on the ice skates. And then you got this cute little image here. This is the one I'm going to use for my card in this video. In addition to that, of course, I have to use this stamp set because, I mean, let me move my lights out of the way because, I mean, Jesus is the reason for the season. So I needed to use this stamp set as well. So we got a really fun, quick and easy card, excuse me, using this. And then I don't know why I sound like this whenever I go live. Then there's the Take a Bow bundle. So it's just one single die and a 6x6 pack of DSP. There's 4 different patterns and they're double-sided. So you get 48 sheets in this pack. So what we're going to create, in addition to 2 cards, we are going to create 3 bows using this die. Now, just like as an FYI, we currently are, Stampin' Up! Has already come out with their last chance product list. And, excuse me. And so out of the products that I am using in this video, the Dear Santa stamp set, this, at the time that I'm filming this, it's still available, but the day that you're seeing this, when this is being posted on Christmas Day, I'm not 100% sure where this stamp set is going to stand. There are items that have already sold out. Now, the last chance products list is not just some items that are out of the current holiday mini. It also includes items that are in the online exclusives and those things that are also in the clearance rack as well. So Dear Santa is one of the stamp sets that will be retiring. The Shepherd's Care stamp set, that will actually carry on. I believe this will not be in a catalog, but it will be in the online exclusives and also the Take a Bow bundle. Now, it won't be priced as a bundle because our bundles are currently like 10% off, but the Take a Bow set, well, I can't say it's a set of dies because it's just one individual die, and the DSP, both of these are going to carry on as well. And like I mentioned, I don't think they're going to be in a catalog. They may be in the online exclusive. So I just wanted to let you know about that. So let me bring in the stuff for my first card and we will get started on this. So the first one that I'm making, like I mentioned, I'm using the Dear Santa stamp set. And I've gone ahead and I have pre-cut my items here, and I did not pre-stamp my my image. So I'm going to bring in my my Stampin' Pierce mat. Now, this is not a photopolymer stamp set. It is a red rubber stamp set. And it's already got the foam cushioning. Now, with photopolymer, that's where you would want to use this foam mat. But with this, I'm using it primarily because it'll be easier for me to stamp on this piece, and actually this piece as well, because I have that white background from the grid paper. Okay, so let me tell you what the size of the cardstock and DSP pieces that I have first. So I have for my card base, this is a piece of Night of Navy. It measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of Garden Green that measures 3.75 by 3 inches. I have my piece of Basic White. This measures 3.5 by 2.75. And then I have I have a scrap of Basic White. And then this DSP here, this comes from the Snowy Scenes 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. This is part of, I believe it's called Snowy Scenes, the Sweet Collection, the one with all the snowmen and all these snow globes. So there's, at the time that I'm filming this, this paper is still available, but it is on the last chance list. So at the time you're watching this, I don't know if it'll still be available or not. There are quite a few items that have been that have now been sold out. So now they're gone. So if there was anything that may be retiring, you may want to check it out and get it before it's gone. Okay, and then I'm also going to be doing some coloring on this as well. So let me bring in, well, let me kind of take some things out of the way here. I got all my stuff here in a bin, and it's just hard to kind of get to things. All right, so for some of these images, I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp these images. Okay, and then on this one, this is my greeting, and this one says, "Always love hanging with you." Okay, and we'll take our card base, we'll fold and burnish that. Okay, and I'm going to set that aside. So I want to get my stamping done first, only because I want this ink to be dry before I do the coloring with my Stampin' Blends. Okay, so let me kind of get some things out of the way here. Okay, bring in my stamp. Ink this up well. Now this ink pad is very inky. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp this right here. Okay, now I'm not worried about the trunk of this tree where it looks like it's a little bit faded. I am going to go over this tree with my Stampin' Blend, so it'll be fine. Then I'm going to bring in this other piece, and I'm going to ink up my greeting piece. Okay, and I'm going to stamp this right in the middle. Okay. So we're done with the stamping part. And let me take this off of here, move this, and then let me quickly clean these stamps. Just so that way we don't have no ink around where we can end up smudging on especially our Basic White cardstock. Okay, so for this greeting here, I'm going to bring in our 1 3/4 inch circle punch. This is in our online exclusives, and it is still there. It's not on any last chance list. So there we got that, and we'll set that aside. And let me move my punch out of the way here. Okay, and in advance, I'm also going to be using these rhinestone basic jewels. And what I want to do with these is I want to color these. So if you did not know, if you don't have like a particular embellishment, something like rhinestones that are in a particular color that you're using in your project, you can color them with Stampin' Blends or with any alcohol marker. Now, this won't work by using regular markers because that color will just rub off. So I'm bringing in these blends. So I have my dark wild wheat, dark cherry cobbler, and dark night of navy. And for what I'm going to do is I'm going to color a few of these, so actually 7 of these rhinestones. I'm going to color the small ones. As you can see on this tree, there are some ornaments, and the little boy is holding one too. So I'm going to color these, and then we'll add them onto that tree when we have the card all put together. But I want to do this ahead of time, so then that way this has an opportunity to dry. Now, it doesn't take long for them to dry, but I figured let me just do it in advance. And you can see that this brush tip on this cherry cobbler is not in the best of shape, but it works perfectly in coloring the embellishments. So if you were to use your brush tip pretty hard on doing something like this, this would be the end result of it. So the brush tip on this marker has seen better days. Okay, so I'm going to color 3 of these in my dark cherry cobbler. And usually when I color like these embellishments, what I'll do is I'll go over them the one time, kind of let it dry for just a little bit, and then I'll go over them again. That way it makes it a little bit darker. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my dark wild wheat, and I'm going to use the bullet tip on this one. And I'm going to color 2 of these. And you can do the same thing, like if you have like any white or sheer ribbon, you can even on some colored ribbons, if it's light enough, you can color on those as well. But when you color those and you use your brush tip, you want to go from the side of the tip. You don't want to go straight down where you end up damaging, you know, that brush tip. So I did 2 rounds of the wild wheat on those 2, but I'm gonna go back to them after I do my dark night of navy. I'm just giving that an opportunity to dry, and then I'll add some more color, and I'll do the same thing with the night of navy. So the night of navy, I just want 2 of these, so we have a total of 7. And I'll go back over with my wild wheat. The wild wheat is definitely a lot lighter on these as opposed to if I was coloring on cardstock with it. But it still looks really nice. Okay, and then let's go over our night of navy ones again. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to take these, I'm going to set these aside so they can fully dry. And then I'm going to bring in my blends that I'm going to use. Now I have quite a few blends here. So I'm going to bring those all out. Kind of move these in so you can see what I'm using here. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in just a piece of scrap paper that I'm going to color on, because when you use alcohol markers to color, the ink will bleed through the back of the cardstock. So I just want a piece of paper underneath it. I'm trying to keep my grid paper kind of clean so I can use it in multiple videos. Okay, so to start off on this, I'm going to use ivory for their skin tone. So I'll come in and I'll do her face and her ears. Now, you don't see, she doesn't have open eyes, so it makes it a little bit easier on coloring this. Okay, we'll do her hands. So, and then her legs. Okay, and then on the boy, his little belly is showing. And then we got his hands. And then we're going to do his face. Okay, looks like we got everything there. Okay, and then, whoops, nope, forgot her neck. Okay. Then for her dress, we're going to use both the light and dark Melon Mambo. So I'm going to take my light Melon Mambo. I'm going to do basically all of her dress, and then the trim on her dress, I'm going to do that with the dark Melon Mambo. Okay, and then I'm going to do the center section here of her socks. Okay. And then my dark, do this trim. And then on her socks. Okay. And then let's see what's next. So for their cheeks, I'm going to bring in this is the Light Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to add some rosy cheeks on her. And I'm going to do the same thing on him. Okay, and then on the boy, I'm going to take my light cherry cobbler and I'm going to color in his pants. And then I'm going to do this band that's on his hat. A little tiny part right here. I'm going very light so that way I don't end up with too much ink. Okay. And then I'm going to let this ink dry before I add any of the dark cherry cobbler to it. Okay, so I'm going to do her hair. And for her hair, I'm going to bring in the light and dark pecan pie. So I'm going to start with my light first. And come in. And then we'll get her ponytail here. Okay, and then we're going to let that dry some before I do my dark on her hair. For his hair, I'm going to use my bronze marker. Now, art blends, they do come as a combo pack, so you're light and dark. The only marker that is that's sold individually is the Color Lifter. The bronze and the ivory come together in a pack. Okay, and I'm going to do his hair. Okay. Okay, so there's his hair. And then I'm going to come in with this dark pecan pie. And I'm just going to add a couple of strokes here on her hair. Like so. Okay, then let's see. I'm going to bring in my light basic black. And I'm going to do his shoes. Okay, and it looks like I missed his neck too. So let me bring that back in. We'll get right in here. Okay, then let's see. I do need that light cherry cobbler again. I do see a spot that I missed. Let's see. I'm gonna do like these little collar pieces that are on his sleeves. All right, and then I'm going to bring in my light Night of Navy. Let's see how that looks. And I'm going to color in his top and then his hat as well. And these markers are pretty inky, so I'm going with a really light touch, so that way it doesn't bleed out. Okay, and then on his hat, and some of these spots are really, really tiny. Okay, and then we're going to let that dry a little bit before I then go in with my dark Night of Navy. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my dark Cherry Cobbler, and I'm just going to add just some shadows here, and then go really light up here on his hat. Like so. Okay, and then for this tree stand, I'm going to use my dark crumb cake. And I'm going to color that stand in. Like so. We're almost there. And then I am going to use, well, we don't need wild wheat. So I'm going to bring in my dark old olive. And I'm just going to trace right over all of these branches. So you can see, just because the ink didn't really come out really solid, I'm coloring over it, so you can't really tell that that happened, just as long as I'm able to see that. Okay. And then let's get our dark Night of Navy, and okay, that brush tip is okay. Just add a little bit of shadow on here. Okay. And then there is like a little tip that if you outline your colored image using, say, like a light pool party marker, it kind of makes your picture kind of like pop a little bit more. So on this, what I'm going to do now, this is going to be a little more subtle. You won't really see, you only see this very faintly after it dries. I have my dark soft seafoam marker, and I am going to go around all of these images. So I'm just going right outside, just following the stamped image. And again, as this dries, this color will fade And it won't be as dark as this, even though it's still kind of light. So, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the tree. And I'm not worried about if I'm getting any of this ink where the ornaments are, because I'll be covering that up with those colored rhinestones. Okay, so there's our tree. And now we have our little boy that we gotta do. Okay, so that part is done. Let me move this out of the way. Let's bring in the rest of our card. So I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. And this piece of this DSP, I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. Okay, and then on my card base, I'm going to place this off to the left-hand side, so it's the same height of the card, so it's 4 1/4. And I'm just going to make sure that I got this lined up to the edge, like so. Okay. And then, oh, one other thing that I wanted to do, just like I did on this image right here with that soft sea foam, I'm going to bring it in and I'm basically going to trace over my stamped greeting. So it's adding some shadow around those letters. Like so. Okay, then I'm going to take my stamped and colored focal point here, and I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. And then I'm going to center this onto my garden green piece. Like so. Okay, and then we're going to add glue to this. Okay, and then we're going to place this right over, we're going to center it, and then we're going to have it closer to the right of my card. Okay, and then let's close this up. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. We'll add a few to the back of our greeting. And then we're going to place this right over here, like so. Now let's bring in those rhinestones that we colored. And let's start adding. So I'm going to add my 3 cherry cobblers. Here, and then the other one's going to go right here. Okay, and then we have our 2 Night of Navy. Put one right here. And our other one up here. And then let's bring in our 2 wild wheat ones. Oh, there we go. There is, let me close this up and kind of get this out of the way. So there is our first card using the Dear Santa stamp set. Okay, so now let me bring in the pieces for our next card. So on this one, again, a lot of stuff I did ahead of time just to save some time. Also, when there's items that need to be die cut, now if this was a photopolymer stamp set, then I could have stamped this like, you know, after the fact, but being that this is a red rubber cling stamp set, I wanted to make sure that my image was going to be centered, and so when I die cut it, it would be centered. And I try to do like all of my die cutting and maybe the embossing ahead of time, so then that way, you know, it goes, the video goes a little bit quicker. So on this, I have a piece of mossy, it's not mossy meadow. This is Misty Moonlight. That measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of, oh, hold on. I messed up. I gotta fix my list here. So this is a piece of basic white. It's 5 1/4 by 4. This DSP here, this comes from the iconic Celebration 6x6 Designer Series paper. So this paper kind of covers a couple of different seasons and holidays. And on this piece, this measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Then on a piece of scrap white, I had stamped the image using Misty Moonlight ink. Now, when I stamped this, I inked up my stamp, I stamped it off, and then I stamped it onto my cardstock because I wanted it to be a little bit lighter, because I'm going to be stamping a greeting right on top of this. And so the greeting that I'm going to use is this one that says, "Praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year." So let me pull that out. And let me put that on a block. So this, I want to try and get it centered on my block. And I'm going to look at the bottom edge And if I can have my wording like kind of straight with that edge, then I should be good on getting this kind of even or straight actually. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, and then I die cut after I had stamped that. I then die cut it using the Countryside Corners die. So this was the die that I used. This is in our current annual catalog. And then also in that catalog is this this organdy ribbon. So this is Night of Navy and Gold glittered ribbon. So that's what that looks like. The glitter does come off. That's why I still have it. I wrapped it back up using that little cellophane piece on there. And then I'm going to bring in my Night of Navy ink. And then the embellishments I'm going to use on this. This is the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. And we have Misty Moonlight color in there that we're going to use. So let me take, I'm going to take this piece first. And I'm going to stamp that greeting on here so we give it a chance to dry. And again, I'm doing it on this so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, and I'm going to ink up this greeting. And I am going to look at this and kind of center it and stamp it, and hopefully we got it straight. Okay, that looks good. We'll close this up since we're done with that. And let's set that aside. We want that to, because this ink pad is really inky. So I want to make sure that it's going to be good and dry so I don't smear that ink when I go to glue it all together. Okay. All right, so on this, I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm going to glue my DSP onto this piece of basic white. And there's just going to be a little small border of that white showing. I'm going to place this here just so I can see it a little bit better. And we'll center that, like so. Okay, and then before I adhere this down, I'm going to attach this ribbon. So I'm going to bring in some Scotch tape. And I want this across the center. So I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to add my tape. And then on this side, I'm going to have it, I want it taut. And we're going to wrap it around. And then I'm going to add another piece of tape. Okay, I want to make sure that this is stuck down really well. And then I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. Okay, and then that's going to get centered on top of my card base. And I want to try to avoid rubbing on top of that ribbon there, because that gold glitter that's on that ribbon, it does come off. Okay, and then we'll close this up. And then on my greeting, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. And I don't want the center of this to sag, so I'm going to add one in the middle. Okay, and then this is going to be centered on my card, like so. Okay, and then let's bring in our embellishments. Okay, and I take your pick tool, and there's two different sizes on this, so I'm going to use one of the large ones and then two smaller ones. Okay, so let me take that, let me move that out of the way, and let's get rid of this. And there is our second card. On to our third. It's not a card, but it's actually, well, let's call it a project. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to make some gift bows. So let me bring, I'm going to show you the samples first that I made. I'm going to be recreating, well, two of the patterns of paper that I used. I'm going to use in the ones I make for you, and then I'm going to use a different pattern that I didn't use here. So here are our gift bows. You can see that the bows are pretty large in size. What's really nice is that with this die, it is carrying over, so it's definitely something that you can use year round. Just change up the DSP that you're going to use on them. Now, for these, it's suggested that use double-sided designer series paper where you have the print on both sides of the paper, so that way you see that other pattern underneath there. So we're going to make these, and I think, yeah, I got all my pieces cut out. Now let me quickly show you on how easy it is to cut these out. Now, to create each one of those bows, you need to die cut. You're going to need to die cut your paper twice. So let me show you that. So let me get the pack of DSP, and let me just pull out one of the patterns in here just to show you. So to make a whole bow, like I said, you need to, you're going to need 2 sheets of the 6x6 paper. Now you can die cut these at the same time. So you put your 2 pieces of paper together like so, and then you take your die, and it's going to line up perfectly on here. So you want like that very small border all the way around, so that way you're getting whole edge, side edges. And then when you put this through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine or your die cutter, you want to go in with these small tabs going up. You don't want to put it in this direction, because when you put it in that way, it's going to be a little bit hard, not only on your machine but the die as well. So it's easier to do it with these smaller tab pieces going in first. And then once you run it through, then you'll have all your pieces cut out like this. And this is for all three of those bows. So I wanted to show you kind of like how you would die cut these. So the die cutting part is very simple. I mean, you could die cut a whole lot of these strips, and then you can sit there and you can put them all, you know, kind of glue them all together and then assemble your bows. So let me separate here what we got. So we have, there are a total of 6 long strips. Okay, so there's my 6 longer ones. And then for these medium-sized ones, you need 4. You need a total of 4 of those. And then you need just 1 of the smaller ones. Let's kind of move these out of the way. Now for this, the best adhesive that you can use for this is your liquid glue. And where is, I have lost the cap to my seal. So your best bet for this is to use liquid glue. If you go and use tear and tape, or if you use your seal or your seal plus, at some point your bow is going to come undone. So liquid glue is your best bet. All right, so one of the things that I also do to kind of help with the curvature of these pieces, I take my bone folder and I'm just going to lightly run it on the back of it. Now, curl on the side, so your bone folder on the side, that's going to be the inner part of your bow. So I want this pattern. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Since I made this bow already, let me have this on the outside. So we'll change it up a little bit. And so you just need to run it once. You don't have to do it multiple times. Okay, and then this one right here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. And then I'm going to add my glue right on the bottom here and up the side just a little bit. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to flip it over this way. And I'm going to line up that side. So the bottom piece is going to line up with the side. And then the side of this piece is going to line up on the bottom. And then I'm going to press it together. Now, if it's open there, you can add just a tiny bit of glue right in there. And press it closed. And then I have these little pins that I'm going to use that just to hold that. So that dries while I do the rest of them. So again, I'm going to add some glue on here. And then I'm going to twist it and adhere it. Like so. Get a clothespin. Okay, let's try and get that lined up. Okay, like so. Now that part with using your bone folder to kind of curl it, you don't have to do that. I did that, just makes it a little bit easier when it comes to folding it because the paper is already curled some. Okay. Fold that over. And then I'll do the same thing with these medium-sized pieces, and then this final smaller piece, we're not going to curl them the same way. That we're just going to make um, like a chain, like a chain loop. Okay. Then we got one more of our larger one. Line it up like so. Okay, so there are our larger loops. So we're going to set those aside. And then with our smaller, our medium-sized ones actually, I'm going to curl them. And you can change it up. I could, when putting this bow, you can use the other side to do the next, whoops, you can't even see that. So you could do it this way too if you wanted to add some interest to your bow instead of everything. You know what, as a matter of fact, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go a little wild here on our bow. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to add some glue on the bottom here. And we're going to twist our paper and kind of line that all up. Add one of our clips. Set that aside. Just dump these out. It'll be a little bit easier to get them. Okay. Okay, and then we got our last one here. Okay, and we'll clip that. Okay, and we'll set that aside. And then on our last one, let's have this part showing on the top. So let's just curl that. And then I'm going to add some glue right on here, like so. And then just wrap this around. Like so. And then let's add our clip. just to hold it in place while it dries, and we'll set that aside. Okay, so now to assemble, let me bring in my silicone craft sheet here, since we're using liquid glue, just in case, so that way we don't get any on here. Okay, so let me remove these two. Now on here, when you look at the bottom, you can see that you have like these angle pieces right here. So you kind of have this triangular shape right here. This is where I'm going to add my glue. So I'm not going to go crazy with it because I don't want glue all over the place. So it's not much, you know, it's just a little bit on that base. And then I'm going to take these 2 points here and I'm going to line it up with those 2 points on the other one. Hold that down for just a second. Okay, and then we'll add our clips like so. So you're gonna have 3 pieces that look like that. Okay, and I'm lining up those corners. Okay, let's clip that together. And then we'll do our last one here. Okay, clip it. Okay, so that's our bigger pieces. That's the back of our bow. Now let's bring in our medium-sized ones. Okay. And we'll add this one right here. So they kind of look like little boats. Okay, and then let's do our last 2 medium ones. Again, I'm lining up those 2 side corner pieces. Okay. All right, so we have those pieces in place. Now let's bring in our larger pieces here. Okay, so I am going to add some glue to the middle area of what we're going to call a boat. I'm going to bring in my next piece and I'm going to take this one, center it up, but I'm going to have it going at an angle. So I want it closer, these ends closer to those loops that I already have down. I'm going to hold that there for a moment so that glue kind of sets. Okay, and then I'm going to add some more glue in the middle here. And then this piece will go right here in between those other 2 pieces. I'm just going to hold that for a moment. Okay, so let me take that and I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to bring in my two medium-sized ones. And I'm going to add some glue to the middle here. And then I'm going to add this right across here in the middle, like so. Okay, so I want there to be a little lift in between the layers. So before I put that in there, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals and I'm going to add like 3 of them to the back of this, like so. Now you don't have to do this part. You can just glue this in, but I kind of liked how this looked when I did this. All right, so then instead of taking this where my points, I'm going to like line it up like in between these bigger points. I am going to, let's see, which way do I want to do it? Am I doing it that way, or do I want to do it this way? So you just kind of fold in a little bit and you center that like so, and then you just press them in like so. Okay, and then on this little chain, remember in school when you used to take strips of paper and used to make a whole big long chain of them? I remember that. That was fun. Okay, so then on this, I'm going to take right on that seam there where I had glued it. I'm going to stack 2 dimensionals on top of that, like so. And then I am going to take this, I'm going to tuck it in so it's kind of diagonal right there in the center. And then I'm going to press that down, and there we go. There is one of our bows. Now, if you glue the strips, if you do them like a little bit, like if you're not lining up the edges, if you bring it in a little bit more, or like if you glue these pieces together a little bit closer together, then it won't look as open as that looks. But it's a nice big bow. So let's put that aside. Let's go and jump into our next bow. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So my sample, I had the spots showing. This time I'm going to have the spots on the inside. So we're going to use, that's our medium one and that's our smaller one. So we have, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then our 4 medium ones and our 1 small one. Okay, so then bring in my bone folder and we're gonna curl our pieces again. Now I'm curling my larger ones first, and then I'm going to glue those, and then I'll do my medium ones. That way, you know, I don't get mixed up as to which are the large and which are the medium ones. Okay, let's flip that over, lining up the bottom or this edge here onto that side piece, that angled piece right there. Let's set it aside. Once you start to make a few of these, it'll go so much quicker. It's that first time when you're using this, you're kind of learning it. Now, I watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and one demonstrator, when she had assembled her her pieces, instead of gluing these pieces together, she had used brad. She just punched at, she used her piercing tool, and she poked holes in this, and then she assembled it using a brad. So you don't need to go out and buy gift bows when you can make them. And again, this is a good way too to use up some of that designer series paper that you have. I definitely have plenty of paper to work with. Okay. And then you can do this too. I've seen that same demonstrator that used the brads to assemble this. She actually did multiple patterns. So her bow basically had all of the different patterns that are in this pack of DSP. So that bow looked pretty cool. So there's lots of different options that you can do this now. I would say do this with designer series paper rather than cardstock, because cardstock is it's thinner, and it'll work better that way. Okay, so now I have this green on the outside, so this next layer with the medium, I'm going to have my polka dots. I'm going to have those showing. Not going to clip that way. Okay, clip that. Again, as you start making more of these, they're gonna go together so quick. I think the more time that you're gonna probably spend is deciding on the designer series paper that you're going to use, and you know, if whether you want to do it all solid or do a combination of different prints and colors. That would definitely make for a really cool looking bow. Okay, clip that. And then let's bring in our centerpiece, which we're going to have our green sparkle stars. We're going to have that showing on the outside. And let's let's add okay, then add our little clothespin. Okay, we'll set that aside. So now let's put our outer pieces together. So this time I'm going to come in a little bit more with my pieces. So the bow is going to be a little bit, it'll be a little bit smaller, not much, because we still need to have room to add, you know, those other layers. Okay. You'll definitely end up with sticky fingers making these. I mean, you want to have enough glue to hold it together, but at the same time, you don't want to use too much where you have glue like everywhere. Okay. All right, now let's take our medium ones. Okay. Okay, so now let's assemble our outer pieces to our bow. Add some glue in the middle. And then this piece is going to, we're going to center it. And then we want these loops to be right up against these other ones here. Like so. And then we'll add some more glue here. What's nice about this glue, this is our Tombow multi-purpose glue that we have in our annual catalog. And what's nice about this glue, it is definitely better than using Elmer's white glue, because this glue has a latex in it, so I find that it holds a lot better. Okay, so there is our bow base. It's just a little wonky, but it's okay. All right, and then let's take these two pieces and glue these together. These get centered. Okay, and then on this piece, I'm going to add my dimensionals again to it. Let's remove these. And then bring in our bow and kind of fold this in. Let's see, do we want it in this way? Trying to figure out which way to put this in. So let's kind of press that in. Okay, and then let's bring in our little loop piece, and we'll double up on our dimensional on the back of this. And then on these bows, the other thing that you can do as well, you can take a piece of tear and tape and you can put it on the back of this, so that way when you're ready to use that bow, all you have to do is take off that paper backing and you can stick it to your package. Okay, so then I'm going to take this one, we're going to pop it in there like so, and then there is our second bow. So we're going to do one more, so we're doing a total of 3 of them. This one I'm going to have the red, I'll have the red showing. So again, we have 2, 4, 6 of our larger pieces, we have 4 of our medium, and then 1 of our smaller ones. Okay, so I'm going to curl. So I'm going to do the same thing as what I did on this. I'm going to use both sides of this DSP. Okay. Bring in our glue. Okay, and then we got one more on this. Okay, we'll clip that. All right, so now let's do our medium-sized ones. And now on this, I'm going to curl it where the red is going to be on the inside and our stripes are going to be showing. Okay. And then let's add our glue. I'm kind of going up at an angle because when I bring this over, I do want this to get where it kind of catches this edge here. So that way that'll stick down. Okay, we'll clip that. Okay, and again, what I want to show you is you can see like on these ends how you have these angled pieces here. So when I add my glue on this side, I'm kind of doing the bottom here and I'm just going up a little bit like at an angle on the side. And then when I take this and I flip this over, I am taking this top, what would be this flat top piece here, and that piece is lining up with this side angle piece. So that way this side is going to line up to the bottom, and then this top part here is going to line up with that side like so. Okay, and then flip this. Yeah, I wanted to show that again because I know as I'm doing this that my fingers are kind of blocking it, so. Okay, let's clip that. And then we have this piece, and the red is going to be on the outside on this one. And then when I glue this down, you see how you got these points right here on either side. When I bring this over to glue it on, you see these points on either side here. That's what I am lining up. Press that, and then we'll clip it to hold it together. All right, so now let's move those out of the way, and let's take these pieces and put them together. Oh, actually, I need those. Not done yet. Okay, clip that and clip this one. Okay, and then let's bring in our 2 mediums, or 4 medium pieces actually. You can see how easily you can end up with glue on your fingers. You want to have enough that it's going to hold the pieces together, but then at the same time, you don't want to use too much where it's oozing out. Okay, so that's those pieces. So now let's bring back our larger pieces. And now we're done with these clips. And we're done with our bone folder too. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of glue in the middle here. And then this piece is going to butt right up against this one right here. And of course it's moving on me. Trying to make sure that it's straight. Add some more glue in the middle. Add this one right here. Yeah, as a paper crafter, you can make your own gift bows for your packages. You can also make your own tags and of course your cards. So you're all set for when it comes to, well, you would probably need wrapping paper. I mean, to an extent, you could use designer series paper for, like, say, a smaller gift. But yeah, you're pretty much set on making your own tags and your own bows, and you don't need to buy any. Okay, so now let's flip that over. And actually, I'm done with my glue now. We can close this up and kind of get that out of the way. And let's get our dimensionals. And let's add 3 to the back of this piece. Of course, my fingers are getting in glue. Okay, and then we're going to stick this down. Let's see which way we're going to do this. Right there. Like so. And then let's bring in our little centerpiece. And we want 2 dimensionals for this. And I'm putting that dimensional right over that seam. And double it up. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And then this is going to go in. I'm going to tuck that right in, right there. Like so. So there is our third bow. So there's all our bows. Let me bring in the other ones that I did. Now on these, I did everything. Hold on. This one is like, it's getting away from me here. So I used all the same pattern paper showing on those. And then these 3, we used a combination of both sides. So now I have 6 gift bows for packages. So let me move those out of the way. Let me bring in the cards that we made. So we did this really cute one using the Dear Santa stamp set. Now this stamp set is retiring at the time that I'm recording this. It is still available. Hopefully it's still available when you watch this, but this is going to, once this sells out, then it's gone. And then we did, for this card, we used the Shepherd's Care stamp set. Now this stamp set is carrying over, so it most likely may end up in the online exclusives permanently. Well, I'm not going to say permanently because at some point it'll end up retiring. So that will be available in the online store after the catalog retires. And then of course the Take a Bow, both the paper and the die will carry over as well. So everyone, there is all of the projects for my special holiday video. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Now when this goes and posts, it's going to be 5 a.m. So maybe some of you will be up that early. Maybe you'll be watching this later on in the evening. But either way, I hope everybody is having a wonderful Christmas, or you had a wonderful Christmas and you got to spend time with family and friends. And if you didn't, maybe you had some nice relaxing time either watching Christmas movies or doing some crafting. So everybody, until let's see, my next video, my next live will be on this coming Friday. And this coming Friday will be, I'll be using the Sophisticated Sled bundle. That bundle is in our online exclusives. Now at the time that I go to record, when I go to record that, whether or not it's not sold out, that I can't really say, but yeah, I've already have it planned, so I'm going to use that, and hopefully you already got it. And if you don't, be sure to get it before it's gone. And until then, everybody, Merry Christmas. Have a blessed one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.